Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio. Sponsored by Family Forest Carbon Program, where we help family forest owners get paid to improve the health of their woods. I am Allison Kinney. Time to talk about prices at the local pumps. After staying in a low to mid $60 per barrel range for the last several weeks, oil prices jumped north of $70, thanks to the back and forth airstrikes between Israel and Iran. Patrick Dehan of GasBuddy.com said this was the latest in a long list of issues that investors have had to digest this year, including tariffs, trade wars, and Russia-Ukraine.
There's been headlines in the Middle East really for the last couple of years as well. In addition, OPEC increasing oil production, just a lot of different factors that could weigh and offset oil markets globally. So there really has been quite a busy time for oil and energy markets to digest all of the various news that's emerging.
Dehan pointed out that oil prices dipped about 5% after Monday's initial price jump. Does that mean consumers will see elevated prices at their local station?
Gasoline, diesel prices remaining at some of the lowest levels for this time of year in several years, but there likely will be some impacts to gas prices and diesel in the week ahead as the jump in oil from last week is started to be pushed down to the retail level. But those increases likely will be limited, with oil prices now showing a big decline today of nearly 4%. So any increases that motorists and consumers of diesel will see here in the next few days will likely unwind as we get closer again to July 4.
Dehan added while a host of variables remain, he expects oil prices to remain to their mid $60 per barrel range.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Let's check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work.
I'm joined today by Philip Good. Philip serves as chair of the United Soybean Board. Philip, you recently went on a tour with USB. You visited with some of the major players in the media industry representing America's soybean farmers, and you had a chance to share about the success of soy in the soybean industry from a farmer's perspective. What approach did you take?
You know, U.S. soy is creating a big ripple effect with $120 billion impact on the U.S. economy. It truly is a ripple effect. And it's our job to both feed and fuel the world. But part of that ripple effect is in the domestic markets, new technology, job creation. And we really only get one shot per year for our income. And those fixed costs continue to go on no matter what the crop or the weather is. But, you know, it all goes back to the soil with our decisions as far as what we grow, explaining why I do not grow oranges in Mississippi and why I don't grow peanuts and sweet potatoes. It goes back to the soil. And so therefore, the decisions of what we grow are based upon soil and climate.
Again, my guest today, Philip Good, chairman of the United Soybean Board, and today's update brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff.
Looking back into the headlines, Ag Secretary Brooke Rawlings announced Wednesday that USDA would be reestablishing a new world screwworm sterile fly facility at Moore Air Base in South Texas to protect the U.S. from the spread of the pest from Mexico. This facility was used in the 1960s to help eradicate a screwworm infestation that threatened the U.S. livestock industry at the time. National Cattlemen's Beef Association President Buck Werbine was at the announcement and told the Beltway Beef Podcast.
We've had issues with getting the flies distributed in southern Mexico, and so there's been a change from instead of bringing them from Panama, where they're creating 100 million of them a week, to Moore Air Force Base, staging them there and then delivering them, and that will be a big help. It was a facility back in the 60s that helped create these things and to where we overwhelmed it, and we can do that again.
NCBA President Buck Werbine.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
This market report is brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. The markets are closed today due to the federal holiday, but looking back at yesterday's close, July corn up 2 even at 433 1/2. December corn up 5 1/4 at 444. March corn up 5 1/2 at 459 1/4. July soybeans up 3/4 at 1074 3/4. November soybeans up 1/2 at 1068 1/4. January soybeans up 3/4 at 1081 1/2. And July wheat up 25 1/4 at 574 1/4. This is the Ohio AgNet.